Last month, Mazda announced that the Miata, the MX-5, is getting a special 35th anniversary edition. It costs $36,000. It's got the artisan red metallic that debuted on the CX-90. It's got a tan top. It comes in a manual transmission only, which I think is great. It's pretty cool, but it doesn't offer any more performance. And this is something that's been frustrating for me as a Mazda fan, as a fan of Japanese cars, a fan of all cars, is that you have such an excellent vehicle like the MX-5, and it is very well balanced. But anytime you have a sports car, you would think the brand Mazda or anyone who produces a sports car would come out with special editions more often, high power editions, more so than the 181 horsepower or so that this vehicle's had since the fourth gen came out. The the ND came out. We're now in the third iteration of the ND. It's kind of bittersweet because Mazda once upon a time had a Mazda Speed MX-5 that was turbocharged. It went from 142 horsepower to around 178 horsepower, and torque went from 125 to 166. A Mazda 3 is turbocharged. A Mazda CX-50, you can get turbocharged. Every other model in Mazda's lineup, CX-30, for example, that we get in the United States, can be had with a turbocharged engine. The most fun Mazda to drive, in my opinion, is by far the MX-5, and there hasn't been any attention given to a higher performance MX-5. Is it because Mazda Speed's not around anymore? Maybe, but the future of Mazda Speed is not Mazda Speed at all. It's Mazda Spirit Racing. And they're finally giving us a little bit of spiciness to the MX-5 with almost 200 horsepower. It's in limited supply, and you might not be able to get in the United States. So we're heading on over to Mazda's newsroom, and this was at the Tokyo Auto Salon this past month, so January 2025. Mazda Spirit Racing's vision for tomorrow. I don't think it's going to start and end with the MX-5 Spirit Racing. I think it's just the very, very beginning. I like the suede interiors here. We got this cool, it looks like a Recaro seat. We know that Mazda likes using the Recaro BBS Brembo package, right? Spirit Racing here on the dash. I'll put the link in the description if you want to read more about this huge write-up of Mazda Spirit Racing, how it's forged through motorsports, kind of like Toyota's GR or Honda's Type R. But we're going to go straight to the Mazda Spirit Roadster details. What can you share about the model at this stage, called the Mazda Spirit Racing Roadster 12R? Maida-san, the car's without question the culmination of our race drive experience, know-how, and real-world testing results. The 12R model, limited to just 200 units, features a 2-liter engine producing 200 horsepower. Okay, well, Car Scoop said 197, so maybe it's 200 PS. Just different measurements. There's different types of horsepower around the world, which is a maximum power we can currently extract from a production model MX-5 engine. So it's capped out. It can only hit 200 PS. We've incorporated race-developed technology into the suspension with settings similar to our Super Taikyu race car. Each unit is carefully hand-assembled to ensure consistency. Handmade MX-5. That's the last time I heard of a handmade Japanese car. Would be like the NSX. You can think of, I don't know if the Type R is handmade, to be honest. I don't think so. But at the Acura PMC, a Performance Manufacturing Center in Ohio, I drove by it when I toured the EV hub. They hand assemble the CRV fuel cell there. But previously, they've had Acura PMC editions that were all hand-built, too, which is pretty cool, which adds significant value. I think it does. I think it's very fascinating. It's completely different from the other mass production models in so many ways. Maida says he's driven it at the Okayama International Circuit. Naturally, it's no match for a Super Taikyu car's movement or lap times. But he says it's the fastest MX-5 available right now. Well, from the factory, right? You could You get LS swap and MX-5, right? With its increased displacement, well, here's the thing: has slightly different positioning to the current model. Now, why does it say increased displacement? Well, in Japan, they've been getting a smaller displacement four-cylinder. For the United States, we've been getting the 2-liter MX-5. I think Europe might not even get the 2-liter MX-5. But yeah, it looks like Japan's finally getting this increased displacement. And they're saying that since it's a production model with everyday driving, they've gone for a comfortable ride rather than a stiff suspension setup. Interesting. Now, the question was asked, do you see this car moving to production, the 12R MX-5? Is this car going to elevate Mazda Racing's presence as a brand? Maida says, I want to be clear. We don't see Mazda Spirit Racing as a sub-brand that uses racing merely as a marketing tool to launch cars. Our vision is to refine both our people and technology in the demanding environment of motorsports, and then translate those achievements into products. To put it bluntly, if our racing results hadn't measured up, canceling development of the production model was always an option. Having proven ourselves on the track means we can proudly offer the Mazda Spirit Racing Roadster 12R to our customers with complete confidence. More details here on the 2-liter that they're beefing up to produce 197 to 200 PS, right? Anyways, the engine bay features an eye-catching black aluminum tower bar. All right, that's what you see here, Mazda Spirit Racing. The 200 horsepower engine incorporates specifically designed camshafts, cylinder head, pistons, and exhaust manifold with optimized intake and exhaust characteristics. I love these wheels. Do you guys like these wheels? I wish we could get these wheels on the Mazda MX-5 stateside. And by the way, if I haven't mentioned yet, these Spirit Racing cars, these 200, I believe they're not coming to the United States. This is only for Japan. Yes, restricted and limited to 200 units to the Japanese market. But don't count it out, guys. Don't count it out in the United States. I still say there's a good chance it comes here. The Mazda's number one market is not Japan. It's by far and away the United States. If they don't bring this vehicle here, it's a complete failure of Mazda Spirit Racing. Bring it to America. Anyways, let's get back to the details here. So we have Bilstein adjustable dampers, and they've been fine-tuned in both damping characteristics and spring rates to handle everything from city driving to circuit racing. The Rays wheels adopt the design from the Super Tycoon race car and were specifically developed to achieve both high rigidity and reduced unsprung weight. Abe's at my door if you don't hear baby yelling, but most of you probably do. Red painted calipers and the Brimbos in the front, adding a striking accent. So it feels like they've taken the BBS Recaro Brembo package in some ways, just slightly improved it. Oh, I forget that he can kind of open doors now. The body features the same aero gray as the Super Tycoon race car. The Mazda Spirit Racing logo is strategically placed through a striking presence, sure to excite drivers. The newly developed aerodynamic components refined through repeated wind tunnel testing and circuit runs optimize front aerodynamic balance, downforce, and drag. No, he wants to play with the vacuum in the office. But seats, trim, and controls feature the same Alcantara material used in the Super Tycoon race car. In addition to improving operability and tactile quality, this choice minimizes chrome surfaces to prevent distracting light reflections that could interfere with driving. Mazda, why don't you put this more in other models and other manufacturers put more Alcantara? I know it's not the ideal for certain surfaces that are high wear, maybe such as an armrest or a seat or a steering wheel, but I don't like shiny surfaces. I'm in a Murano this week and they've done a good job for the most part, but like around the cup holder area, it's all glossy black. And it's just like, why do you do this? It's so unnecessary. So Mazda Spirit Racing, this is their first attempt at a production car. What is to come next? Well, God willing, we get this in America. They also have a Mazda Spirit Racing 3, Mazda 3 that runs on like biofuels and maybe hydrogen as well. I get excited at the thought of a Mazda Spirit Racing CX-90. The problem is like, okay, well, they just want to take what they're learning from racing and put it into a production car. Mazda's large platform is not going racing. Come on, how cool would that be? Yeah, the current Mazda CX-90's horsepower on the Turbo S models is 340 horsepower. Give us a Spirit Racing with 400 horse. Is that asking too much? I don't think so. I think it'd be pretty fantastic. Mazda would be a true, like in some ways, like calling shots at BMW. I think it boosts that torque to 420 pound-feet or something like that. And my voice is starting to cut out. So use your ideas for what you would like to see in a Mazda's 2.5 turbo, CX-5 Spirit Racing, Mazda 3 Spirit Racing with a 2.5 turbo. I mean, currently those are about 250 horsepower. If they could boost those to 270, 280, it'd be fun. It'd be cool. It'd be something to get really excited for. Give us a manual as well on a Mazda 3 Spirit Racing with the turbo. Hell yes. Do you think the 197 horsepower or 200 PS is too conservative for this? It sounds right up Mazda's alley, to be honest, but I know a lot of us would rather have this 2-liter turbocharged from the factory from Mazda. I think that would be super cool. All right, I'm going to end it there. I hope this comes to the United States. It's worth talking about because for me, I'm such a huge fan of Mazda, especially the MX-5, and to see it getting performance upgrades from the factory. Like, we haven't seen this, guys, that I'm aware of since 2004. We had the Mazda Speed MX-5. All right, so it's been a long time. And we haven't had a Mazda Speed 3 for a long time as well. And long live the Mazda Speed 6. And there was a Mazda Speed Protege as well. I have a video on Mazda Speed if you guys wanted to watch it. I made it a few years back. Anyways, Mazda Speed is back in Spirit Racing, and it's just the beginning for Mazda, and they would be foolish not to bring it to America. I'm pretty sure this logo is trademarked in America, so I'm pretty sure it's coming. Thank you for watching. I'll catch you in the next one, and peace.